Dear students, continuing the part of visualizing the variability. We in the first part we talk about these different kinds of charts, and this is example of another kind of chart which is called jitter strip chart with some types of bubbles. This chart is different from the strip chart. Why? Because the bubbles are filled, and while here the bubbles are not filled over here. To understand the measure of a central location, it means that what are the values of the mean, median, and mode. So the formulas are there, and there are certain examples you can see over here, and it could be applied in Excel very easily with the shortcut formulas like this is formula for it. So you need to write equal sign, then average, and then you need to specify the column which you want to make an average, and also for median the similar one. You need to sign equal sign in any cell of the Excel, and then you need to write median and then specify the range of the data. And also for mode, okay, for mode you can also have the similar. So mode dot equal sign, mode dot multiple, and then you can have the value out of it. So this is very simple over here, and this will give you the central location for your data. So here you can see over here the in Excel how it is done. So average for this selling price is given over here. Median is given, mode 1 is given, and mode 2 is given as well, right? So mode is basically also the central positions. If it is a odd number, so the central value will be the mode. If it is not the odd number, so there will be two modes. Similarly, there's a formula for range. So range is like, maximum value minus minimum value. So it's very simple. Standard deviation is also a very straightforward formula, as equal sign STDE standard deviation dot s, and then you can specify the values, the range for your data. So the value, the formula is given over here. Then percentile, so percentile means the 100th position. So percentile is also the formula is very straightforward, equal sign percentile dot ext, and then you can have the percentile for a specific data. And here when there is another thing which we call as a IQR, which is mean interquartile range. So quartile means if you divide the data into four parts, so there are like the first part is called Q1, second part is called Q2, third part is called Q3, and Q4, right? So the difference between the third part and the first part is called IQR, and we also call as the 75th percentile minus 25th percentile, right? So shortly we call IQR, and this IQR is used in the box whisker charts. So here you can also see the IQR values in the Excel, the 25th percentile, 50th percentile, and 75th percentile. The empirical rule for bell-shaped distribution. So you can see over here that how the shape looks like. So it looks like a bell shape, and it is neither skewed nor to the left nor to the right. It's symmetric. So this called, it has a single mode because there is a one value in the middle, and that is, I will show you with this is like, this is the one value with the single mode, right? So but if these, for example, if this was missing and only this value was there and this one, then you will have two modes. Okay, now we look at this one, box and whisker plot. So it is very easy to plot in Excel, and in chapter number 2 you already have plotted this one. Here you can see this is the first quartile, sorry, this is the first quartile, and this is the second quartile, this is the third quartile, right? And this is the fourth one. So here you can see the difference between the third and the first quartile. This one is called IQR. This is very important because this is used for calculations and for finding the outliers over there. Outliers means any value which is out of the boundary. So here you can see the mean value, the median value is also there. The drawing of this box and whisker chart is very easier. Just need to go to the, so you need to select the data from A1, let's suppose, to A13, and then you need to click on the insert and ribbon and insert the statistical chart, and then you need to click on the box and whisker chart. So here these are the different box and whisker charts, and an example for you to compare multiple variables. You can variate with a different color as well, so to become easy and become distinguishable. This is another kind of interesting chart, although this is not available in Excel, but it's also exists, and this is called Wyland chart. So Wyland chart is advanced visualization. It combines the description of the box and whisker chart with the rotated and mirror kernel density chart. So when you combine the mirror kernel density chart with the box and whisker, so that is called Wyland chart. And here is the data for male and female death ratios. What is a statistical inference? Statistical inference is a process of research when you draw your results from a statistical result. So it's a process of collecting sample data to make estimates or draw a conclusion about one or more characteristics of a population. So here, different techniques are used over here. The confidence interval is very much important. So confidence interval, it is combined with the mean value and the margin of error, and usually the confidence interval in Excel, how you can get it. So it will give you the significance level, how your results are important and significant, what is the standard deviation, and what is the sample size. So these three information you will get it with this formula. Okay, so the formula is very easy: confidence equal sign, and you can assign the margin of error. So here this one is here how you can apply in the Excel. So you can see that how it can be applied in the Excel calculation with the confidence interval on the mean value. And these are column chart with the confidence interval bars. uh, Okay, if you see over here, there is some more information about the confidence interval and the proportion. So confidence level, and then sample proportion and sample size. These are more information, and you can calculate with the count if function, with the count a functions in Excel sheet. And the proportion can be done with the division of count of favorable outcomes divided by the sample size. And here you can have it more of, yeah. So here we have different calculations based on the confidence interval. So for inference, you need to be confident on certain calculations and draw some your conclusion. So let's have some more examples for the confidence interval bars. Yeah, so one of the important variability is a regression. So in the regression, when we compare two variables and then we see the causal effects. Let's suppose the number of requests on the x-axis and the travel time on the y-axis, and then we have some scatter chart. From this scatter chart, we can see the variability and make a trend line. We can see the slope. We can see the residual values over there. So these are the different they have a predictions line, and they have like lower 95%, and they have upper 95%. So here you can see the different variability over here. So if you see these lines, so this line is in the middle of these points, right? And this line is a lower 95% value, and here is the upper 95% value over here. So here we can see these are important statistic which is used in a daily life of a researcher. Then we have time series, or as you know that time series is a sequence of observation with respect to the certain successive points in time. And the time series is a line chart with the time unit displayed on the horizontal axis and values of the variable on the vertical axis, right? So the time series in chapter number 2, we already draw that how we can have the time series. So one of the variable must be a time on the x-axis. Another variable can be sales, or it could be purchases, or it could be any data. but it must be linked with the time. So here you can see that how the time series can be written. So on the x-axis we have the quarter, and on the y-axis we have the sales. So these are some discussion activity for your homework. Okay, and these are like some questions for you, that how you can answer it with respect to this chapter. So what is in the summary? So we talk about that how we can visualize the frequency distribution with respect to the categorical variable, not the numerical variable. What are the distributions of the quantitative? What are frequency, polygon, histogram, jitter strip chart, and hollow dots, and avoid occlusion. And then we talk about like define statistical measure. Central tendency means like mean, median, mode. We also talk about range, maximum minus minimum, standard deviations, and IRQ, interquartile range. We talk about box whisker chart and how can we interpret statistical measure with respect to anomaly, in case if you want to detect some frauds, or those people who cannot pay back money in the banks. Convey uncertainty. Yeah, uncertainty is important. We talk about statistical inference using error bars to portray the margin of errors. We talk about predictive analytics with respect to the regression and with respect to the time series. So thank you very much, and see you next time.